All right, this handout was about increasing and decreasing intervals. So the first thing we care about on increasing and decreasing intervals is we need to know about the max, the relative max, the relative mins, and then if there's any absolute mins or maxes as well. So a relative max is when the graph goes from increasing to decreasing. So if we start on the left, the graph is going up, so it's increasing, right? Until we get to this point here. And then it goes to decreasing. So since it's going from increasing to decreasing, this is a relative maximum. And the coordinate for that is going to be 1, 1. Okay. And then the graph starts to decrease. Let me write that a little better. 1, 1. And then the graph starts to decrease all the way up until it reaches this point right here. The coordinate for that is going to be 4, -3. And then it's going to increase up until the end here. So this is our relative max, okay, because the graph's going from increasing to decreasing. This is a relative min because it's going from decreasing to increasing. So I'm going to put that down here. Relative max is going to be 1, 1, right? Or local. They use the word local max, local min. Same thing as relative, right? Relative min, relative max. Okay. And then our minimum here was 4, -3. 4, -3. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to also write the coordinates of our two endpoints, the beginning and end of our graph. So this is -4, -4. And over here, what do we have? 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay, when we're writing our intervals for increasing and decreasing, just like for positive and negative, what we care about are the x values. Okay, we care about the 6, the 4, the 1, and the -4. Okay, the y values, if that's what's telling us it's going up or going down or positive or negative. But when we're writing the intervals, we care about the x values. So let's write our intervals. Okay, we're going to start at -4 and we're going to go up. So we're increasing from -4 up until we hit +1. So we're increasing from -4 until we hit 1. Okay. And then we start decreasing. We start decreasing from 1 down until 4. So we're decreasing from 1 to 4. Okay. And then at 4, we begin to increase again. So then we start going back up from 4 all the way till we get to the end at 6. So I'm going to put the U for and, right? That means and. So we're increasing from -4 to 1 and from 4 to 6. Okay. And those would be my increasing intervals and my decreasing intervals. The increasing intervals are when they're going up. Decreasing are when the function is going down, right? The function is going up from -4 to 1, down from 1 to 4, and then up again from 4 to 6. All right, let's look at a couple more. Let's look at 4 here, and then we'll look at 7 and 8. We'll do 4, 7, and 8 here. So for number 4, again, I have a relative max right here. We're going from increasing to decreasing. So that relative max looks like it's at -3, 4. Okay, we go down and then we go constant. So we don't have a relative min there because we're not going from decreasing to increasing. It goes from decreasing to constant and then constant to increasing. So we only have a relative max at -3, 4. And we don't have any relative mins. All right, we also want to highlight some of our other important points. So let's highlight those points. So this one here is going to be -5, -3. This one here is -1, -1. Over here we have 3, -1. And then we have 6, it looks like +2. Okay. And again, I'm going to highlight, let me use yellow here. I'm going to highlight our x values because these are the ones we care about when we're writing our our intervals. I should go back here. I didn't circle this one very well. -1, -3, -5. Okay, so this graph starts off by increasing. It's going to increase from -5 up until we hit -3. So we're increasing from -5 to -3. And then we start going down. So now we're decreasing from -3 down until -1. Okay, and then the graph goes constant for a little while, right? It stays flat, so it's constant from -1 to +3, right? And then at 3, it begins to increase again until we can get to 6. So from 3 to 6, right, we're back to increasing. So I'm going to put that U for and. It's increasing from -5 to -3 and from 3 to 6. It's decreasing from -3 to -1, and then it was flat or not changing, right? The function was just staying flat from -1 to +3. All right, let's do 2 more examples on this one here. Decreasing to increasing, so we have a local minimum here. So this coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, -4. So that's a local minimum. 3, I'm sorry, -3, -4, right? -3, -4. And then over here, we're going to have a local maximum because we're going from increasing to decreasing, right? Function's going up, and now the function's going down. So that's a relative maximum. That's at 1, 2. Okay. And then the only other point I'm going to highlight here is the endpoint, which is down here. And that coordinate is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 5, -6. Okay. And again, what we care about are the x values. So I'm going to, again, circle -3, 1, and 5 when we're writing our intervals here for positive and negative, and now for increasing and decreasing. What we care about are the x values. Okay, so we're starting at -infinity, right, all the way to the left, right? This is going left and up forever, right? So it's not only going up forever, it's going left forever. So we're starting by decreasing from the left. As we go to the right, we're decreasing. Okay, until we get to -3. So we're decreasing from -infinity all the way up until -3. Okay, and then we start increasing from -3. Our graph's going up. Our function is increasing up until 1. So we're increasing from -3 to 1. Right, and then we're decreasing and we're going down from 1 until we get to 5. Okay, 1 to 5. All right, so our graph is decreasing from -infinity to 3, increasing from -3 to 1, and then decreasing again from 1 to 5. Since you have intervals, when we're writing intervals that are positive and negative or increasing or decreasing, again, it doesn't matter if it's a closed or open circle because we're always going to use parentheses. Okay, never brackets. All right, let's do one more example on here. All right, my relative mins, let's see, we have a relative min maximum here. We're going increasing to decreasing. So this is at -3, 3. We have a relative minimum here. That's going to be at -1, -1. And then we have a relative maximum up here at, that looks like 2, 5. Okay, so I'm going to put those in. We have 2 relative maximums, -3, 3. And 2, 5. Those are my relative max. Then I have a relative min here at -1, -1. All right, the other point that matters here is this one, the endpoint. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 4, 2. So again, I'm going to highlight my x's because those are the numbers I care about when I'm writing my intervals. Okay, I'm going to read the graph left to right. So I'm starting on the left here. Farthest left I can go is negative infinity. So I'm starting at negative infinity all the way up until -3. So I'm increasing, right? I'm going up. So negative infinity to -3. Okay. And then I begin to go down. So I'm decreasing from -3 until -1. Right? And then I'm going back to increasing, right? So I'm increasing from -1 to 2. So I'll put a U for union. -1, that's not the best U in the world. 1 to 2. Okay, and then we're decreasing again from 2 until 4, the end of the graph. So the big takeaways here is we got to make sure we use the x values when we're writing our intervals. We start all the way to the left at negative infinity. We increase until we hit -3. We decrease from -3 to -1. We increase from -1 to 2. And then we decrease again from 2 to 4.